Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto was trained by Jiraiya before the academy and unlocked Sage powers early, part 1. If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The night of the Nine Tails attack changed everything for the Hidden Leaf. Minato and Kushina's sacrifice left behind their only son, Naruto Uzumaki. But in this timeline, one man couldn't walk away from that loss. Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, stood silently before the Hokage's office as the infant Naruto cried in the arms of Hiruzen Sarutobi. The third Hokage's weary eyes met Jiraiya's. Greater than, he's Minato's son, and yours to protect now, isn't he? Jiraiya clenched his fists. Minato entrusted me with the future. I won't make the same mistakes again. Answer, instead of leaving the village, Jiraiya took Naruto under his wing from the very beginning, long before the academy, long b. A 14-7. The early years, a lonely child, a legendary teacher. At age 5, Naruto was already showing traces of the immense chakra of the Nine Tails. But instead of being shunned by villagers, Jiraiya kept him mostly away from the village, training him at a small cottage near the IRTs of the forest. Every morning, Naruto trained his stamina, endless laps, chakra control on leaves, tree climbing, and then meditation. But Jiraiya had something else in mind. Greater than, you've got your father's will, kid, and your mother's fire. But if you can't control your energy, you'll never reach their level. Jiraiya introduced Naruto to the concept of nature energy, something even adult shinobi couldn't handle. He didn't intend for Naruto to master it so soon, only to sense it. But Naruto was different. He wasn't afraid of the energy around him, he connected with it, almost instinctively. The toads take notice. One day, as Naruto meditated, the air shimmered with green light. His small hands glowed faintly, and even Jiraiya's eyes widened. Greater than, impossible, he's syncing with nature energy already. It was then that Jiraiya made a bold choice. He took Naruto to Mount Myoboku, home of the Toad Sages. The great Toad Sage, ancient and wise, stared at the boy for a long moment before saying in his slow, echoing tone. Greater than, this child bears two destinies, one of chaos, one of balance. If trained wisely, he may master Sage Mode before his time. Quote, Fukasaku and Shima agreed to train Naruto under supervision, but with limits. A child's body couldn't hold full Sage Mode yet. So, Naruto began with Toad-style chakra meditation, learning to blend his chakra with nature's flow. Training of a prodigy. Months turned into years. By age 7, Naruto could summon small toads effortlessly, something Jiraiya himself had taken years to do. He could meditate for hours without moving, balancing on one hand atop a toad statue while focusing chakra through his body. But Naruto's emotions, his loneliness and desire for acknowledgement, sometimes made his sage training unstable. When he lost focus, natural energy overflowed, turning his eyes golden and his skin tinted with orange marks. Greater than, you're still rushing it, Naruto. Jiraiya shouted once, as energy exploded around the boy. I can handle it, sensei. No, you can't. Sage Mode isn't about power, it's about harmony. Quote, Naruto fell to his knees, panting, as the ground cracked beneath him. But every failure made him more determined. Foreshadowing of power. By age 8, Naruto's chakra control was on a level unheard of for his age. He could sense chakra signatures miles away, and even communicate with toads telepathically through nature energy. Fukasaku once told Jiraiya quietly, greater than, he learns faster than you ever did. If this keeps up, the prophecy may come true sooner than expected. Quote, but destiny wasn't about to let things go smoothly. One day, during a particularly deep meditation session, Naruto's connection with nature energy drew something, a dark, powerful presence lurking deep within him. The Nine Tails stirred. Greater than, so, this is the energy of the world, huh? Pathetic. Let me show you real power. The balance broke. Nature energy went wild, merging with Kurama's chakra. The ground trembled, and the toads scattered as Naruto screamed, golden and red energy clashing around him. Jiraiya rushed forward. Greater than, Naruto, don't lose yourself. But this was just the beginning of the youngest sage in history. The tremors echoed through Mount Myoboku like a thunderstorm. Toads leaped from lily pads into the ponds as the air rippled with heat. A golden-orange aura erupted from the small clearing where Naruto knelt, his body trembling as if he were caught between two storms. Jiraiya's sandals skidded across the whetstone as he sprinted up the mountain path. He could already feel it, an impossible surge of nature energy, twisted together with something darker, angrier. "Damn it, kid, what did you do now?" he muttered, leaping through the last few meters. In the center of the clearing, Naruto was crouched down, fists pressed into the ground. Cracks spread beneath his small hands. His eyes flickered violently, golden, then red, then golden again. His whisker marks had thickened, stretching across his cheeks like wild streaks of fire. Around him, the grass bent backward as raw chakra rolled off his body like a wave. "Grrrr!" Naruto screamed, the energy exploding upward, scattering pebbles like bullets. Jiraiya threw up his arm to block the wind, teeth clenched. Behind him, Fukasaku and Shima landed lightly on the rocks, concern etched on their amphibian faces. "Greater than, Jiraiya boy. The kid's body can't handle this much energy. He's fusing nature energy and Kyuubi chakra." Shima croaked. "It's going to destroy him." Jiraiya cursed. "Naruto, listen to me. Focus on my voice." But Naruto's scream deepened, his consciousness fading under the pull of power. Inside his mind, everything was red, a vast chamber of darkness, echoing water, and behind the bars of a massy. The seal, Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, grinned. Inside Naruto's mind, the seal. "Greater than, so, this is what you've been trying to control, brat." "Huh." Naruto looked up, shaking, his youngest self dwarfed by the monstrous eyes staring down at him. Who are you?" "I am the reason you exist in fear. The power sealed inside you. The nine tails." "The nine tails? You mean, the thing that destroyed your village?" "Yes. Your parents' sacrifice trapped me here. And you, little worm, you think you can control my power." Kurama's laughter shook the mental cage. Naruto fell backward, clutching his head as the red chakra seeped through the bars. It coiled around him like smoke. "Greater than, your body's too weak, your mind too soft. But, if I take over, we'll show them true strength." Naruto's breath hitched. He remembered Jiraiya's words from their training, the old sage kneeling beside him at dawn, saying softly, "Greater than, power means nothing if you lose yourself. A real shinobi finds balance, not control through rage." Naruto's trembling hand reached out toward the leaking red chakra, then paused. "Greater than, no, I'm not giving up my dream. I'm gonna be strong, my way." He slammed his fists together, and suddenly, another light flared inside him, a warm, golden glow that wasn't from the nine tails. The nature energy that had once gone wild began to spiral gently around him, drawn inward. Kurama narrowed his eyes. "Greater than, HMPH. You're not as weak as I thought, runt." The red chakra retreated slightly. Naruto's breathing steadied. The real world, the calm after chaos. Outside, Jiraiya shielded his face as the storm of chakra finally started to fade. Naruto's form, once glowing violently, began to calm. The gold and red hues dimmed into soft embers. Naruto collapsed forward into Jiraiya's arms. "Easy, kid, breathe. You did it," Jiraiya whispered, relief flooding his voice. "You didn't lose control." Fukasaku hopped closer, his wide eyes scanning the boy. "Unbelievable. His body's absorbing nature energy instinctively, like he's one with it." Shima nodded. Even the sage of six paths had to learn balance, but this one was born with it. Quote, Jiraiya exhaled slowly, brushing the dirt from Naruto's cheek. "He's not ready for sage mode, but he's got something deeper. Maybe, fate really does have its eye on him." A new beginning. When Naruto woke up, he was lying inside one of the giant toad huts. His vision was blurry, but he could feel the gentle warmth of Fukasaku's healing energy around him. "Ugh, My head feels like I got headbutted by a boulder, he groaned. Jiraiya chuckled from the corner. That's because you nearly blew up half the mountain. Naruto blinked, sitting up slowly. Did I mess up again? The old sage's face softened. No, brat, you messed up, but you also survived something no one your age could. You faced the Nine Tails and lived. Naruto froze. The Nine Tails, that monster inside me. Jiraiya nodded. Yeah, but that monster's also your power. You've got a choice, Naruto, let it control you, or learn to live beside it. Quote, Naruto's fists clenched. Then I'll learn to live with it. I'll make it my strength. A grin tugged at Jiraiya's lips. Hey, you sound just like your old man. 2 years later, the rising prodigy. By age 10, Naruto had become something of a legend among the toads. Even Gamakichi and Gamatatsu treated him like an older brother. He could summon mid-sized toads, use chakra sensing to detect movements across the forest, and meditate without losing focus for hours. Jiraiya would often sit cross-legged, writing in his notebook, while Naruto balanced upside down on a toad statue, eyes closed. Greater than, you're getting too good, brat, Jiraiya teased. Maybe I should start charging you for lessons. Quote, then I'll just write my own book and make you pay, Ero Sennin. Naruto shot back. The days were filled with laughter, pranks, and relentless training. But in quiet moments, Jiraiya couldn't ignore what he saw. Naruto's control over nature energy was evolving faster than anything he'd witnessed. Said, even the great toad sage whispered once. Greater than, the child's connection to the world is strong, but the path ahead is stormy. The encounter in the forest. One humid afternoon, Jiraiya took Naruto back near the outskirts of the Hidden Leaf for field training. Naruto hadn't visited the village in years. To him, Konoha was a distant memory, a place of whispers and cold stares. Why can't I go in yet, Jiraiya-sensei? Naruto asked, balancing a water balloon between his hands, trying to rotate it with chakra. Jiraiya folded his arms. Because you're not ready to face people who don't understand you yet. Let your strength do the talking first. Naruto frowned, his blue eyes shadowed. So I have to prove I belong, by being strong enough. Quote, Jiraiya sighed. That's the world, kid. But don't let it make you bitter. You'll show them what real strength means. As Naruto trained, something shifted in the air, a dark, cold presence. Jiraiya's instincts flared instantly. He raised a hand, signaling Naruto to stop. Out of the trees stepped a masked man wearing an old Anbu cloak. His voice was calm but sharp. Greater than, you shouldn't be here, Jiraiya of the Sannin. Jiraiya's eyes narrowed. Anbu, huh? Or something pretending to be. The stranger's mask tilted toward Naruto. So this is the vessel. The fourth son. The Nine Tails brat. Naruto froze. Greater than, who are you? A shadow of what your father left behind, the man replied cryptically. Without warning, the ground exploded as several kunai burst from beneath the soil, each tagged with explosive seals. Jiraiya grabbed Naruto and leapt into the air as the blast tore through the clearing. They landed on a tree branch, smoke swirling below. Stay back, Jiraiya barked. You're not ready for this fight. But, I said stay put. The masked figure emerged again, unharmed. His chakra signature was strange, faintly familiar, like a presence Jiraiya had felt during the war. Greater than, you can't protect him forever, Jiraiya. Fate has already chosen the boy's path. Then, before Jiraiya could counterattack, the figure vanished in a blur of space distortion, a ripple of dark chakra folding into nothing. Naruto jumped down beside Jiraiya, fists clenched. Who was that? What did he mean? Jiraiya's expression was grim. That kid was trouble. Big trouble. Seeds of destiny. That night, as Naruto sat alone by the campfire, staring into the flames, his mind replayed the words, the vessel. The fourth son. So it was true, he was the Nine Tails host. The son of the Hokage who had died sealing the beast. For the first time, he understood why Jiraiya kept him away. Greater than, sensei. Yeah, kid. Jiraiya looked up from his notebook. If my dad was the Hokage, why'd everyone hate me for what's inside me? Because people fear what they don't understand, Jiraiya said quietly. But your father believed one thing, that you'd grow strong enough to make them understand. Quote, Naruto stared into the fire for a long time before nodding. Then I'll do it. I'll make sure no one ever has to feel like I did. The unseen test. Days later, Naruto resumed training. This time, Jiraiya introduced something new, Toad-style combat, a mix of taijutsu and chakra flow tekken. Each inspired by sage movement. Use nature energy not just to sense, but to predict, Jiraiya instructed, circling Naruto. Nature talks, kid. You just have to listen. Naruto closed his eyes. He felt the wind, the vibration of the ground, the faint rustle of leaves. When Jiraiya moved, Naruto didn't see it, he felt it. He ducked under a strike, spun, and countered with a sweep that nearly took Jiraiya's legs out. The older man jumped back, grinning. Greater than, hey, you're getting scary, brat. Quote, Naruto smiled wide. Guess that means I'm a real sage now, huh? Not yet, Jiraiya said, though pride warmed his voice. You've got the skill, now you need wisdom. Wisdom. Naruto tilted his head. Yeah, knowing when not to fight. Naruto blinked, then laughed. I don't think I'll ever learn that. Jiraiya chuckled. You sound just like your mom. The calm before the storm. That night, as the moon rose over Mount Myoboku, Jiraiya sat alone with Fukasaku. The elder toad puffed on his pipe thoughtfully. Greater than, the boy's grown strong, Fukasaku said. But strength attracts eyes, good and bad. I know, Jiraiya replied quietly. That masked man, he's not done. He'll come for Naruto again. Then we prepare, Fukasaku said simply. Because that boy, he's destined to change the world. Jiraiya looked out at the stars, where Naruto sat cross-legged in meditation, glowing faintly with nature energy. The old sage smiled sadly. Yeah, just like his father. And far away, in the shadows of the forest, the masked man reappeared, watching. Greater than, so, the toad sage thinks he can defy destiny again. Let's see how long that lasts. Quote, the days that followed, morning mist curled across the ponds of Mount Myoboku. Dew glistened on the lotus leaves, and the mountain buzzed softly with the croaks and chatter of its toad inhabitants. In the heart of the training grounds, Naruto Uzumaki sat cross-legged, completely still. His golden hair fluttered slightly with the wind. A faint orange pattern traced across his eyes as nature energy flowed into him. Fukasaku watched from a distance. His wise, bulging eyes narrowed. Greater than, he's sinking faster than yesterday. At this rate, the balance will become instinct. Beside him, Jiraiya leaned on a stone pillar. Yeah, but that's what scares me. The old toad blinked. Scares you. Every prodigy burns bright, but burns fast. If he reaches sage harmony too soon, his body might not keep up. They both looked at the boy meditating before the waterfall. A calm surrounded Naruto that no one could have imagined years earlier, not the lonely, angry child Jiraiya had first taken from the village. This Naruto was different, focused, resilient, but still smiling when he looked up at his teacher. Greater than, Ero Sennin. Did I do it right this time? You tell me, brat. Feel the wind, not your ego. Naruto grinned. Then yeah, totally nailed it. Jiraiya sighed, half smiling. Still can't meditate without bragging. Quote, Training of the young sage. Days blurred into weeks. Jiraiya pushed Naruto further, not just meditation and chakra control, but movement with natural flow. Naruto learned to feel incoming attacks before seeing them, to match his speed to the rhythm of wind and earth. During one intense session, Naruto stood blindfolded while 4 shadow clones attacked from all directions. He deflected each blow, his body twisting effortlessly, guided only by sensation. When the last clone vanished, Jiraiya clapped slowly. You're learning to dance with nature itself. Naruto wiped sweat from his brow. Guess that makes me the world's first dancing sage. Jiraiya laughed. More like the world's loudest. Still, even he couldn't deny it, Naruto's progress was staggering. He could gather small amounts of natural energy without stone transformation, a feat even Jiraiya had barely mastered without the toad's help. Every night, Jiraiya wrote quiet notes in his journal, the same one Minato once used for research. Greater than, Naruto's synchronization rate surpasses expectation. His body adapts naturally, but instability remains when emotional spikes occur. The Kyuubi's chakra reacts instantly to nature energy. He closed the notebook and stared into the dark sky. Minato, Kushina, your boy's going to surpass us all. The hidden leaf learns his name. Word of Jiraiya's absence and secret training slowly reached Konoha. Within the Hokage's office, Hiruzen Sarutobi sat surrounded by reports. An Anbu knelt before him. Lord Hokage, the Sannin has not returned in over 3 years. Should we? No. Hiruzen raised his hand. I know where he is. He's doing what he believes is right. He looked toward the framed photo of Minato. Greater than, if Naruto is truly in Jiraiya's care, then perhaps his childhood will be different, perhaps better. But not everyone agreed. In the shadows, Danzo Shimura watched the Hokage from afar. The boy is a weapon of mass chakra. Letting Jiraiya mold him is dangerous. He turned to one of his root operatives. Keep eyes on him from a distance. When the time comes, the child will belong to Root, not to fate. The lesson of the spirit. Back at Mount Myoboku, Jiraiya decided to teach Naruto something new, spiritual endurance. Gathering energy's easy, brat, Jiraiya said. But holding on to yourself while it flows through you. That's the hard part. Quote, Naruto frowned. Holding on to myself. Yeah, nature doesn't care who you are. It wants to consume and balance. If you lose focus, you disappear, not die, but become part of nature. Naruto's expression darkened slightly, but then he smirked. Guess I'll just have to be too loud to fade away. Jiraiya chuckled. You'd probably annoy the trees into letting you stay. They began the ritual of stillness, Naruto sitting under a massive toad statue, surrounded by glowing crystals that amplified natural flow. The energy thickened, pressing around him. For hours, he remained still, absorbing it, until faint orange pigmentation spread along his face. His breathing slowed, his aura expanding. But then, a sudden spike. The red chakra stirred again, faint but menacing, mixing with the golden hue. Jiraiya's head snapped up. No, not now. Naruto's hands trembled. Inside him, the Kyuubi's voice growled, low and mocking. Greater than, you keep calling on nature's power, but you forget whose chakra sustains you. Mine. Naruto gritted his teeth, eyes closed. Not yours. Ours. A pulse burst outward, and this time, the balance didn't shatter. The red merged smoothly into gold, stabilizing. Naruto's breath came back steady. Jiraiya blinked. Fukasaku gasped. Greater than, he's fusing the energies naturally. He's balancing the Kyuubi's chakra with nature's flow. Quote, Naruto opened his eyes. They glowed, golden irises rimmed with faint crimson, steady, calm. I did it, didn't I? Jiraiya swallowed the lump in his throat. You did, kid. You actually did. It lasted only seconds before exhaustion hit. Naruto collapsed, unconscious but smiling. Jiraiya caught him gently. That balance, even I couldn't do that. The elder toads exchanged looks of awe and worry. Greater than, such harmony can reshape the world, Jiraiya boy, Fukasaku murmured. But harmony that deep can also break it. The vision of the great toad sage. Days later, Jiraiya was summoned to the great toad sage's chamber. The ancient amphibian slept most days, but this time, he stirred awake before the sage could even speak. Greater than, Jiraiya, the child you train walks 2 destinies. Jiraiya knelt. 2. Greater than, yes. One leads to peace, the other to ruin. The 9 tails and the sage energy within him will either become one harmony, or tear the world apart. Jiraiya bowed his head. Then I'll make sure it's the first path. The toad sage's clouded eyes opened slightly. Greater than, you cannot shape destiny alone. When the time comes, the boy must choose, and so must the village. Jiraiya didn't answer. His mind was already turning toward what had to come next. A return to the village. 2 months later, Jiraiya stood with Naruto at the edge of Mount Myoboku. The air shimmered with heat as the sun rose. Pack up, kid. We're heading back. Naruto's eyes widened. To Konoha. Yeah, you're strong enough to enter the academy now. It's time you meet other kids, learn teamwork. Naruto's expression turned cautious. But, what if they hate me again? Jiraiya smiled softly. Then you'll show them who you've become. Not with power, but with heart. Quote. Naruto nodded slowly, determination burning bright in his eyes. Then let's go. They traveled for days through forests and mountain paths, stopping only to rest. Naruto's connection to nature made travel effortless, animals approached without fear, and weather seemed to bend around him. But when they reached the village gates, the guards froze. Greater than, is that, Naruto Uzumaki. He's alive. And with Jiraiya-sama, word spread like wildfire. By the time they reached the Hokage's tower, half the village had gathered in whispers. Inside, Hiruzen looked up as the door slid open. Jiraiya, he said, smiling faintly, it's been a long time. Jiraiya bowed slightly. You look older, sensei. Hiruzen chuckled. You look the same, unwashed and unshaven. Quote. Naruto burst out laughing before realizing the room was filled with elders. He quickly bowed. Hi, old man Hokage. Hiruzen chuckled warmly. Welcome home, Naruto. The test of the village. Naruto's return wasn't easy. Children whispered, adults stared. The fox within him was still a ghost story in the streets. But Jiraiya stood firm beside him, and so did the Hokage. Slowly, Naruto began to earn glances of curiosity instead of fear. He entered the academy a year early, a mystery prodigy who could already tree walk and summon small toads. During sparring, even the instructors were left speechless when he moved faster than anyone expected. When asked how he learned, he grinned, nature taught me. Most kids didn't understand, but one boy, Shikamaru, squinted. Troublesome. You're weird. Naruto laughed. Guess that makes two of us. And for the first time in his life, he felt almost normal. Shadows watching. High above, from the Hokage monument, Danzo stood silently, bandages fluttering. A route operative appeared beside him. Greater than, he's in the academy, sir. No uncontrolled bursts so far. Danzo's single eye glinted. Not yet. But power like that doesn't stay hidden. The Nine Tails will test him, and when it does, we'll be ready. Quote. Meanwhile, deep in another dimension, the masked man watched through a swirling portal. Greater than, so the Toad Sage raised him well, interesting. Perhaps the child's bond with nature energy can awaken what I seek. Quote. His crimson Sharingan reflected the image of young Naruto laughing with his classmate. Greater than, I'll be waiting, Nine Tails host. Epilogue. The calm before the age of storms. Months passed. Naruto's training continued in secret with Jiraiya each evening after classes. He learned to extend sage perception to detect chakra signatures from miles away. Sometimes he even played pranks using toad clones, earning both detention and laughter from Iruka-sensei. Yet behind the laughter, his meditation deepened. Nature whispered to him, the rustle of leaves, the hum of chakra life. He didn't fully understand it, but he felt that something vast and ancient was watching, not the Kyuubi, but something older. The very energy of the world. One evening, sitting beneath the Hokage monument, Naruto looked up at the sky. Greater than, Dad, Mom, I'm getting stronger. I don't know where this path goes, but I'll walk it my way. Quote. Behind him, Jiraiya watched quietly, pride in his eyes. That's all I needed to hear. The wind blew softly through the village, and for the first time, Naruto felt at peace. End of Part 1. Greater than next, Part 2, The Awakening of the Sage Beast. As Naruto's power continues to evolve, the harmony between the Kyuubi's chakra and nature energy begins to draw the attention of darker forces, and the boy who was meant to be a weapon becomes the key to changing the shinobi world forever. Back to the village. The gates of Konoha closed behind them with a soft thud, and Naruto's heart hammered in his chest. The air felt different here, heavier, thicker, filled with something he couldn't name. It wasn't chakra, it was emotion. People's eyes followed him, some curious, others wary. Whispers floated behind his back like cold wind. Greater than, is that the boy Jiraiya brought back. He's the one with the 9 tails inside him. They say he's different. Strange eyes, orange markings. Naruto clenched his fists. He'd been ready for this, but the sting still reached deep. He looked up at Jiraiya walking beside him. They're staring again. Let them stare, Jiraiya said calmly. They'll see what they want to see, until you show them who you really are. Naruto took a breath, straightened his shoulders, and smiled. Then I'll show them all. Quote, First day at the academy. The morning sun poured into the academy training grounds. Young students chatted as Iruka Umino, not yet the patient man Naruto would someday know, looked at his roster. His eyes paused when he saw the last name, Uzumaki, Naruto. The door slid open. In walked a boy with bright blonde hair, wearing a confident grin and the faintest trace of orange pigment under his eyes. Behind him stood Jiraiya, towering, his expression a mix of pride and mischief. The classroom went silent. Class, this is Naruto Uzumaki, Iruka said. He'll be joining us a year early. A year early, someone whispered. He's just a kid. Hey, I'm not just a kid. Naruto shouted, grinning. I trained on a mountain with toads. Laughter rippled through the class. Even Iruka smiled despite himself. You're definitely Jiraiya's student. As class began, Naruto found himself sitting next to a lazy-looking boy with dark hair tied in a ponytail, Shikamaru Nara. You're the new kid, huh? The one with the crazy stories. Quote, yeah, you believe me? Nope, Shikamaru said flatly. But it sounds troublesome, so maybe it's true. That was the start of an odd friendship. Training after hours. Every evening, after the academy, Naruto would sneak away from the village's bustle and head toward the forest, where Jiraiya waited with a smirk and 2 training logs. Took you long enough, brat. Ready for round 50. Make it 100. Naruto's body glowed faintly as he practiced gathering natural energy on the move, something even adult sages struggled with. His small feet moved over the surface of a pond without sinking. Every step sent ripples outward in rhythm, not chaos. Jiraiya watched silently, remembering a night years ago, Minato standing in the same stance, the same determination in his eyes. He's becoming you, Jiraiya whispered under his breath. When Naruto finished, collapsing onto the grass, Jiraiya handed him a rice ball. You're getting faster. Nature energy doesn't fight you anymore. Quote, yeah, Naruto said through a mouthful of food. It feels like it wants to help. That's how you know you're walking the right path. But Jiraiya's thoughts were not entirely calm. He'd seen the way animals responded to Naruto lately, birds landing beside him, insects circling peacefully, and trees subtly leaning toward him when he trained. Nature didn't just flow through Naruto anymore. It responded to him. The Whispering Woods. One evening, Jiraiya sent Naruto alone into the forest to train his chakra sensing. The task was simple: locate the hidden scroll among the trees using nature energy. Naruto closed his eyes, breathing deeply. He felt the wind, the sway of branches, the heartbeat of the earth beneath him. The world wasn't silent anymore, it whispered. At first, the whispers were faint, the rustle of leaves, the hum of water. But then, something deeper. Older. A voice. Greater than, child of balance. Naruto's eyes snapped open. Who's there? You touch the energy of creation, but your heart trembles between light and shadow. The forest glowed faintly. The air pulsed. For a moment, Naruto thought he saw a shape in the distance, massive, human-like but ethereal, glowing faintly blue, surrounded by countless eyes. He blinked, it was gone. When he returned to Jiraiya, the old sage immediately noticed the shaken look. What happened? I heard something. It talked to me. It said something about balance. Nature speaks when it's listened to, Jiraiya said carefully. But not like that. You sure it wasn't the fox? No, it wasn't angry. It felt ancient. Jiraiya frowned. He'd heard legends, whispers of those who touched pure nature itself, beyond sage training. Even the great Toad Sage avoided that boundary. He didn't tell Naruto, but that night, Jiraiya barely slept. A clash in the training yard. Weeks later, during sparring practice at the academy, Naruto faced a boy known for his arrogance, Kiba Inuzuka. You beat me. You look like you'd trip over your own shadow. Hey, wanna bet? Naruto said, flashing a grin. When Iruka gave the signal, Kiba charged, fist swinging fast. Naruto dodged easily, sensing each movement before it came. His body moved in harmony, smooth, natural, flowing like water. When Kiba leapt with Akamaru at his side, Naruto's eyes flickered gold for an instant. He tapped the ground, redirecting the flow of air, and Kiba was thrown off balance mid-leap. The crowd gasped as Kiba landed flat on his back. Iruka stared in disbelief. What kind of move was that? Naruto rubbed the back of his head, smiling. Toad-style taijutsu. But as Kiba groaned, something strange happened. The air shimmered. A faint ripple of natural energy expanded from Naruto's body. Flowers nearby bloomed. The other kids fell silent. Iruka's expression softened. Naruto, what are you? Naruto blinked. I'm me. Just Naruto. Quote, The tension grows. News spread fast. The boy with the orange eyes who made the air shimmer and trees bloom. Rumors turned to awe, then to fear. Some parents whispered that the Nine Tails was awakening again. Hiruzen summoned Jiraiya urgently. Greater than, you've trained him well, the Hokage said quietly, but the village isn't ready for this. People fear what they don't understand. You want me to stop his training? Jiraiya asked sharply. No, but keep it quiet. For now. Jiraiya nodded grimly. He's not a weapon, sensei. He's a child. But destiny's not gonna wait for him to grow up. The hidden threat. That night, as rain pattered softly on the rooftops, a root operative knelt before Danzo. Greater than, the boy's power grows exponentially. He communicates with natural energy itself. Then the sage line truly lives, Danzo murmured. If we can control him, the leaf will never fall again. He turned toward the window, watching lightning flicker across the Hokage monument. Greater than, prepare a retrieval squad. Quietly, Jiraiya must not know. Quote, Jiraiya's warning. Meanwhile, in a small apartment near the village edge, Naruto practiced controlling his aura, learning to draw in nature energy without the pigmentation spreading too far. The candlelight flickered in rhythm with his breathing. Jiraiya entered silently. Greater than, you're pushing yourself again. I just wanna keep getting stronger. There's more to strength than control, Naruto. There's knowing why you're strong. Naruto looked up. I already know. To protect people. To make M smile. Jiraiya smiled faintly. Good answer. Don't ever let anyone twist that. He looked out the window, his expression darkening. Because some people will try. The ambush. 3 nights later, as Naruto walked home from training, he felt it, a wrongness in the air. The usual hum of life around him had gone quiet. No insects, no wind. Just stillness. Greater than. Who's there? A whisper, then movement, shadows erupting from the rooftops. Masked figures, fast and silent. Naruto's body moved before his mind did, training kicking in. He leapt back, palms flashing. His chakra surged, blending with the natural energy in the air. A swirl of orange light burst around him as kunai whistled past. One of the attackers lunged. Naruto dodged, flipping backward. You guys picked the wrong kid to mess with. Quote, the ground cracked beneath him as he slammed his hands down, channeling natural chakra through it. Roots and dirt exploded upward, blinding his attackers. He heard one grunt in surprise. Then, another flash, behind him. He turned too late, a kunai grazed his shoulder. Pain shot through him. Before the second strike could fall, a massive shadow dropped from above. Jiraiya landed, spinning midair, slamming the assailant into the ground. Greater than, didn't your mothers ever teach you not to pick on kids? The masked men vanished into smoke, retreating. Jiraiya's expression darkened. Greater than, root, he muttered. Damn it, Danzo. Naruto, clutching his arm, frowned. Who were they? People who don't see you, only what's inside you. Naruto's gaze hardened. Then I'll make them see me. Jiraiya looked at him, proud, and deeply afraid. The path forward. After the attack, Hiruzen confronted Danzo behind closed doors. Voices rose. Trust cracked. But outside those walls, Naruto's resolve only grew. Every day he trained harder. Every night he meditated deeper. Nature itself seemed to guide him, breezes shifting when his focus faltered, sunlight breaking through clouds when he found balance again. The great Toad Sage's words echoed in Jiraiya's mind. Greater than, he walks two destinies. And deep within Naruto, in that quiet place of stillness and fire, the Nine Tails opened one eye. Greater than, you're getting closer to something dangerous, boy. Keep going, and you might even wake me up. Naruto smiled faintly in his sleep. Greater than, then I'll tame you too. The fox's low laugh rolled through the darkness. Greater than, we'll see. The calm after the storm. The morning after the ambush, sunlight spilled softly through Jiraiya's small house. Naruto sat cross-legged on the wooden floor, bandaged but calm, eyes closed, focusing on his breath. Around him, faint motes of golden light floated lazily in the air, nature energy gathering naturally, drawn to High's presence like leaves toward the wind. Jiraiya leaned in the doorway, arms folded. He said nothing for a long moment. Watching the boy, he could almost feel the stillness, pure, balanced. The same stillness he'd felt years ago in the presence of the great Toad Sage. Greater than Minato, your son is surpassing us both. Naruto opened his eyes slowly, the faint pigmentation fading from around them. Greater than, they won't stop, will they? No, Jiraiya replied honestly. Power draws fear. Fear draws control. But you're not alone in this. I'm not afraid of them, Naruto said firmly. I'm afraid of me, if I lose control. Jiraiya crouched beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. Greater than, then don't. Control isn't about holding back. It's about harmony. Remember what the old toad said. Yeah, Naruto murmured. Balance between body, mind, and spirit. Exactly. You keep that balance, and you'll never lose to the darkness inside. Quote, but deep down, Jiraiya knew, balance was never permanent. Not for a boy carrying two forces so strong they could rewrite destiny itself. Lessons in stillness. Over the next months, Jiraiya began a different kind of training, not about fighting, but listening. Each morning, before sunrise, Naruto would sit atop a smooth rock by the riverbank. Jiraiya instructed him to sense every ripple of chakra across the land, the fish beneath the surface, the birds above the trees, the villages stirring far away. Greater than, sage training isn't only power, Naruto. It's awareness. You can't protect what you don't understand. At first, it was frustrating. Naruto could feel everything but couldn't focus on anything. It was like trying to hear one voice in a storm of sound. But then, something changed. One morning, as dawn broke, Naruto's breathing slowed. His heart matched the rhythm of the flowing water. The chaos around him melted into unity. For a moment, he wasn't separate from the world. He was the world. The river's movement was his breath. The wind's whisper was his thought. A faint shimmer of energy enveloped him, soft, radiant, natural. His sage markings appeared faintly, perfectly balanced. Jiraiya's eyes widened. Greater than, he's doing it without trying. Then suddenly, Naruto's eyes flickered crimson for half a second, Kurama's chakra pushing through the cracks in his harmony. The golden light turned orange, flickering unstable. Naruto gasped, gripping his chest. Jiraiya moved instantly, kneeling beside him. Greater than, hey. Focus. Remember the balance, don't fight it, feel it. Naruto breathed deeply, regaining control, the red fading back to gold. When he finally opened his eyes again, the calm returned, but Jiraiya noticed the faint tremor in the boy's hands. Greater than, Sensei, it wasn't just me. When I felt everything, I felt him too. The fox. What did he say? Quote, nothing. Just, watching. Jiraiya exhaled slowly. Good. Let him watch. The more you grow, the less he'll scare you. But both of them knew, the line between watching and acting was razor thin. Hiruzen's visit. Weeks later, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, visited Jiraiya's home quietly one evening. The old man's face carried both pride and worry. Naruto, sitting outside practicing summoning smaller toads, waved brightly. Hey, old man Hokage. Hiruzen smiled gently. Still as energetic as your father, I see. Naruto blinked. You knew my dad. The Hokage's smile faded just slightly. Better than most. You have his eyes, and your mother's fire. Quote, inside, Hiruzen and Jiraiya sat across from each other. The candlelight between them flickered with the weight of unspoken concern. Greater than, he's grown stronger than I expected, Hiruzen admitted. Too strong for his age. Quote, strength isn't the issue, Jiraiya replied. It's how the village reacts to it. Danzo won't stop here, Hiruzen sighed. He sees power only as a tool. If Naruto keeps drawing this kind of attention, then I'll take him away again, Jiraiya said flatly. The old Hokage looked down. That might become necessary. They both knew what that meant, exile. Hiding the boy who carried the future of the leaf, all over again. The Festival of Fire. When the Festival of Fire arrived that year, the village was alive with laughter, lights, and color. Naruto walked through the crowd, eyes wide in wonder. It was the first time he'd seen Konoha so alive, without whispers, without hate. He carried a red festival mask, watching fireworks bloom across the night sky. Greater than, pretty awesome, huh? Came a voice behind him. He turned to see Hinata Hyuga, shyly clutching a small lantern. Naruto grinned. Yeah, never seen anything like it. They stood side by side, watching the sky explode in colors. For once, the world felt simple, peaceful. But peace, Naruto had learned, never lasted long. The storm within. That night, as the fireworks faded, Naruto sat alone on the roof, gazing at the stars. His chakra was calm, yet his mind buzzed with confusion. He could feel nature energy even when he didn't try anymore. It pulsed with the rhythm of life, every living thing connected. But beneath it, there was another rhythm. Slow, deep, heavy, the nine tails. Greater than, you feel it too, don't you? Naruto froze. The voice echoed in his head, smooth, deep, ancient. You again. You've been touching my energy every time you call on that sage nonsense. I'm not using your power. Oh, but you are. You think nature and I are different. Foolish human. My chakra is the storm, the chaos your so-called balance hides. Quote, Naruto gritted his teeth. You're wrong. Nature isn't chaos, it's life. Kurama's laughter shook the very air of Naruto's mindscape. Greater than, life is chaos, boy. You'll see. Sooner than you think. Before Naruto could respond, a surge of red energy flared in his gut. His body glowed faintly as the nine tails chakra mixed briefly with natural energy, and for an instant, everything froze. The trees around the house bent toward him. The wind died. Time itself seemed to still. Jiraiya burst through the door, feeling the immense surge. He saw Naruto standing, eyes glowing both gold and red, perfect balance for a split second, before it shattered. The light exploded outward, shaking the forest. Jiraiya barely managed to stabilize the boy, slamming a sealing charm onto his chest. The world went still again. When Naruto woke hours later, he found Jiraiya sitting nearby, eyes shadowed. Greater than, what happened? You touched something no one's ever touched before, Jiraiya said softly. Sage and Nine Tails chakra, they reacted. It felt like everything was alive. Yeah, Jiraiya muttered. That's the problem. He stood, looking toward the mountains. Greater than, we can't stay here anymore. The departure. By dawn, they were gone. Naruto didn't know where they were going, only that Jiraiya's face was set, determined, and that the village behind them was growing smaller with every step. Greater than, are we running away? Naruto asked quietly. No, Jiraiya said, not looking back. We're moving forward. If the world's gonna fear you, then you might as well become strong enough to protect it anyway. Quote, Naruto smiled faintly. Then let's train harder, sensei. The wind brushed past them as they disappeared down the forest road, toward new mountains, new challenges, and the destiny neither of them yet understood. Far away, Mount Myoboku. High above the world, the great toad sage stirred from his slumber. Fukasaku watched in silence as the old one's cloudy eyes opened. Greater than, what is it, Lord Sage? The flow of nature trembles, the ancient toad whispered. A storm is forming, not of destruction, but of rebirth. He looked toward the distant horizon, where two faint lights, one golden, one crimson, flickered side by side. Greater than, the child of balance has begun his path. Quote, End of part 1. the child of balance. Greater than next, Part 2: The Awakening of the Sage Beast. Naruto and Jiraiya journey beyond Konoha to the mountains near the Land of Toads, where Naruto's training pushes him past human limits. But as his bond with nature deepens, so does his connection with Kurama, and the boundary between sage and beast begins to blur. A new journey begins. The forest stretched endlessly before them, painted gold by dawn. Naruto walked behind Jiraiya, a small pack on his back, the Konoha headband tied proudly around his forehead even though he wasn't yet an official genin. The silence between them wasn't uncomfortable, it was the quiet of two travelers who had both chosen their path. Greater than, Sensei, Naruto said after a while, where are we going this time? Somewhere far enough that nobody can interfere, Jiraiya replied. Near the border of the Land of Toads. A place where nature speaks louder than people. Quote, you mean, more sage training? Jiraiya smiled faintly. Exactly. But this time, you're going to learn something new, the difference between using nature energy and becoming part of it. Naruto tilted his head, frowning. Didn't I already do that? Greater than, not even close, kid. You're standing in the river, but you haven't learned how to flow with it yet. The Forest of Resonance. They traveled for days until they reached a hidden valley blanketed in mist. Gigantic trees loomed overhead, their roots twisting like serpents, and the air shimmered faintly with visible streams of chakra, pure, living energy. Greater than, this place feels alive, Naruto said quietly. That's because it is, Jiraiya said. The toads call it the Forest of Resonance. Natural energy is so thick here it can swallow you whole if you're not careful. Naruto grinned. Then I'll just have to be careful, huh? Quote, greater than, you say that now, Jiraiya muttered, but try not to turn into a stone frog again. Naruto laughed sheepishly. That was one time. Jiraiya chuckled, then grew serious. All right, from now on, no more seals, no training wheels. I'll only step in if I have to. This is your journey to master balance itself. Naruto nodded and sat cross-legged on the ground. The forest hummed around him, a low, steady pulse that made his hair stand on end. He closed his eyes, breathed deeply, and reached out with his senses. For a moment, everything was calm. Then, chaos. The forest screamed in his mind, energy rushing at him from every direction. His body stiffened. His chakra whirled out of control. Jiraiya's voice echoed faintly through the noise. Greater than, don't fight it. Feel it. Find the rhythm. Naruto gritted his teeth, sweat dripping down his forehead. His mind struggled to focus, but every time he tried to grasp the energy, it slipped through his fingers. His heartbeat grew erratic, his chakra flickered violently. Then, just as he thought he'd lose control, he remembered something Fukusaku had once told him back at Mount Myoboku. Greater than, nature is not yours to command, boy. It is yours to dance with. Naruto's breathing slowed. He stopped fighting. Instead, he listened. He let the energy move through him, not as a weapon, but as a song. And just like that, the storm quieted. His aura expanded softly, his markings glowing faintly. The forest stilled. Even the insects paused. From the shadows, Jiraiya smiled. He's really doing it. Training under the moonlight. Days passed. Naruto's progress was astonishing. He learned to move with nature energy, to sense every life form in the forest, to predict movement not by sight, but by instinct. Jiraiya began testing him, surprise attacks, illusions, traps, but Naruto's reactions became sharper, almost preternatural. Once, when Jiraiya launched a barrage of kunai at him, Naruto deflected them without even looking. Greater than, how'd you do that? Jiraiya asked, half impressed, half alarmed. Naruto smiled. The air told me. One night, beneath a glowing full moon, Jiraiya and Naruto sat near a small campfire. The forest hummed softly around them. Greater than, Sensei, Naruto said, gazing at the flames, do you ever wonder if this sage stuff changes who we are? Quote, what do you mean? When I'm meditating, it feels like, I'm not just me anymore. Like there's something bigger, like I'm part of everything. But when I open my eyes, I'm just, Naruto again. Jiraiya poked at the fire with a stick. That's what being a sage is, kid. You touch something greater, Something endless, but you can't live there forever. You're human. That's what makes the power yours. Naruto nodded slowly. Then I'll learn to walk between both. Quote, Jiraiya smiled. Spoken like a real sage. The intruder. That night, long after Jiraiya had fallen asleep, Naruto stirred. He sensed something, faint, distant, wrong. A foreign chakra signature brushing against the edge of his awareness. He stood quietly, eyes narrowing. The forest around him whispered a warning. He turned toward the trees, and saw movement. A masked figure slipped silently between the branches, too fast for a normal shinobi. Naruto's heart raced. Not again. He focused, drawing in nature energy, letting his senses expand. The air shimmered faintly as his eyes turned golden. Greater than, I know you're there, he said. Come out. The figure froze, then stepped into the moonlight. It wasn't Root this time. It was an unfamiliar man, tall, wearing a rogue headband from the Hidden Rain village. Greater than, so it's true, the man said quietly. A child sage. Who are you? Naruto demanded. A messenger, the man replied. From someone who's been watching you, for a long time. Naruto frowned. What do you mean? Before the man could answer, Jiraiya appeared behind him in an instant, kunai pressed to his throat. Greater than, you picked the wrong forest, pal. The intruder smiled thinly. I meant no harm. My master only wished to confirm the prophecy. Jiraiya's eyes narrowed. Prophecy. Greater than, the child of balance. The one who will bring harmony or destruction to this world. He exists, and his name is Naruto Uzumaki. Before either could react, the man vanished into smoke. Naruto looked up at Jiraiya, heart pounding. Sensei, what did he mean? Jiraiya hesitated, then sighed. That's something I hoped you wouldn't have to hear yet. The prophecy revealed. As the sun rose, they sat beside the riverbank. The light reflected on the water like molten gold. Jiraiya finally spoke. Greater than, years ago, the great Toad Sage told me a prophecy, that one of my students would either save or destroy the world. I didn't know who it meant. Minato, Nagato, maybe even me. But now, he looked at Naruto. Greater than, now I think I understand. It was always you. Naruto blinked, stunned. Me. But I'm just. Greater than, no, kid. You're not, just, anything. You've got the 9 tails, the spirit of a sage, and a heart that refuses to quit. That's what makes you dangerous, and that's what makes you hope. Naruto looked down, silent. Save or destroy the world, that's a lot. Jiraiya chuckled softly. Then just make sure you save it. Quote, Naruto grinned. You bet I will. The silent connection. That night, Naruto meditated again, but this time, he didn't try to block Kurama out. He reached inward, toward the cage sealed deep within him. The air shimmered. Red light spilled around him as the massive gates came into view. Kurama opened one glowing eye. Greater than, back again, little sage. I just wanna talk. Talk. To me. Brave. You said before that your chakra and nature energy aren't that different. What did you mean? Kurama's eyes narrowed, intrigued. Greater than, nature energy is life's essence, wild, boundless, infinite. My chakra is the same, but refined through rage and survival. I am what happens when nature fights back. Quote, Naruto tilted his head. Then maybe, we're not enemies. Kurama laughed, deep, thunderous, echoing. Greater than, you really think you can tame me with words? No, Naruto said, smiling faintly. But I can understand you. Quote, the fox went quiet, watching the boy. For the first time, there was no hatred in that gaze, only curiosity. Greater than, we'll see, sage child. Naruto opened his eyes slowly, the night air calm around him. For the first time, the red and gold energies within him pulsed in harmony, not fighting, just existing side by side. Jiraiya watched from afar, all flickering in his eyes. Greater than, he's doing it, he whispered. He's actually finding balance. The end of the beginning. Weeks later, standing atop a cliff overlooking the valley, Naruto clenched his fists and smiled at the rising sun. Greater than, I don't know what's coming, he said softly, but I'm ready for it. Quote, Jiraiya stepped beside him, his usual grin returning. Then let's make sure the world is ready for you. The wind picked up, carrying leaves and light through the air. Somewhere far away, thunder rumbled, the faint warning of the storms that destiny would bring. But for now, the child sage stood steady, eyes bright with determination, spirit blazing like fire wrapped in sunlight. The journey had only just begun. End of Part 1, The Child of Balance. Greater than next, Part 2, The Awakening of the Sage Beast. Naruto's training continues at the edge of Mount Myoboku, where he'll attempt to merge Sage and Nine Tails chakra in full for the first time. But as new enemies emerge and old legends awaken, the line between man, beast, and god begins to blur. Whispers of war. Weeks passed peacefully after their encounter with the mysterious Rain Ninja. Jiraiya tried to act calm, but Naruto could tell something was eating at him. Every night, while Naruto practiced balancing nature energy by the fire, Jiraiya would sit silently, scribbling notes in his journal, the same one he'd started years ago, filled with theories, names, and fragments of the prophecy. Greater than, you're writing again? Naruto asked one night, his eyes glowing faintly from residual sage chakra. Old habits die hard, Jiraiya said, forcing a smile. Just trying to make sense of things. About that, child of prophecy, stuff. Yeah, and about the Rain Village too. Something's moving in the shadows, Naruto. I can feel it. Naruto tilted his head, frowning. You think that guy from before wasn't alone? Greater than, not a chance, Jiraiya muttered. The rain doesn't send messengers unless there's a storm behind them. Quote. He tossed the notebook aside and stared into the fire. We might have to leave soon. Naruto's expression hardened. Then I'll be ready. Training of the heart. Despite the tension, their training didn't stop. If anything, Jiraiya doubled it. Morning began with chakra control drills, balancing on falling leaves, meditating under waterfalls, and practicing nature resonance with multiple toads at once. By afternoon, Naruto was sparring, not with clones, but with actual summons. Gamakichi, Gamatatsu, even Gamabunta dropped in occasionally to test his growth. Greater than, you've gotten fast, kid, Gamabunta grumbled one day after being forced back by a single palm strike infused with sage energy. Thanks, Chief, Naruto beamed, but I still can't match your strength. Hey, don't get cocky. You've got power, but not the experience to wield it yet. Later, as Jiraiya treated Naruto's bruises, he smirked. Greater than, the big guy likes you. That's rare. He's kinda scary but nice, you know. Like a grumpy uncle. That's one way to put it. The lesson of stillness. One evening, Jiraiya brought Naruto to a quiet clearing surrounded by mist. A pond shimmered faintly, reflecting the moon's light. Greater than, sit here, he said. Meditation again. Naruto groaned. Not quite. This is the final step before we return to Konoha. You've learned to draw nature energy. Now you'll learn how to let it draw you. Naruto blinked. That sounds backwards. Greater than, that's because it is, Jiraiya replied. Every shinobi tries to control chakra. But sage mode isn't about control, it's about surrender. Quote. He gestured to the pond. Sit in the center. Don't move. Don't breathe too heavily. Let the world breathe for you. Naruto sighed but obeyed. The water rippled as he stepped in, cold against his skin. He sat down, cross-legged, the moonlight wrapping around him. For a long time, there was only silence. The forest murmured, leaves rustling softly. Then, something changed. The world seemed to tilt. Naruto could feel everything, the insects buzzing near the trees, the frogs croaking at the edge of the pond, even Jiraiya's calm, steady breathing. His mind emptied. His body became light. For a moment, he was everywhere. Then a deep, rumbling voice echoed in his mind. Greater than, you're reaching too far, boy. Kurama. Naruto frowned inwardly. I'm not trying to fight you. Greater than, you're trying to connect with everything. But you've forgotten, I'm part of everything too. Quote. Naruto hesitated. Then slowly, he let the barrier between them fade, just a little. The natural energy flowing through him merged with Kurama's chakra. For the first time, it didn't feel like fire and oil. It felt like flame and wind, fierce, but in harmony. The pond exploded outward in a wave of golden red energy. Jiraiya shielded his eyes as the air crackled with power. When it faded, he saw Naruto standing at the center, glowing with a golden aura laced with faint red wisps. His eyes, orange and slitted, burned with calm focus. Greater than, Naruto, Jiraiya whispered. You did it. You balanced them both. Naruto exhaled softly. It feels peaceful. The ambush. That peace didn't last. At dawn, as they prepared to leave the valley, 3 figures emerged from the mist, cloaked, masked, and carrying weapons unlike any Jiraiya had seen in years. Greater than, Jiraiya of the Sannin, one said, voice distorted through a breathing mask. Our master wishes to confirm the child's potential. Jiraiya's expression darkened. You rain types just don't learn. Naruto stepped forward, eyes narrowed. Who sent you? Greater than, the one who sees everything from the tower above the rain, the man replied. He has plans for both of you. Naruto clenched his fists. Tell him I'm not interested. Greater than, you'll change your mind. Without another word, the 3 attacked. Jiraiya moved first, forming hand seals and slamming his palm into the ground. Greater than, summoning jutsu, Gumaken. The giant toad appeared with a crash, blocking a barrage of explosive tags. Meanwhile, Naruto jumped high, gathering nature energy midair. Greater than, sage art, wind release, spiraling gale strike. Quote, a massive burst of spinning wind crashed into the nearest rain ninja, sending him flying through the trees. Jiraiya whistled. Nice one. Greater than, I've been practicing. Naruto yelled, landing in a crouch. But the remaining 2 opponents weren't ordinary. Their chakra signatures were twisted, like water mixed with poison. One of them opened his palm, revealing a strange, black seal that absorbed the air itself. Greater than, he's using chakra absorption, Jiraiya warned. Don't let him touch your attacks. Naruto nodded and dashed forward, his speed blurring. He weaved through kunai, flipped off a tree trunk, and landed a clean hit to the man's chest, only for his fist to sink into smoke. A clone. Greater than, behind you, brat. Jiraiya shouted. Naruto spun, barely blocking a strike from the second attacker. Sparks flew as chakra blades clashed. He grinned. You guys picked the wrong sage. His aura flared golden red, sending a shockwave that knocked the enemies back. His hair fluttered in the wind, his eyes glowing. Even Jiraiya had to pause. So this is him when he's serious. Naruto extended both palms. Sage art, twin Rasengan barrage. 2 perfect Rasengan formed in his hands, infused with natural energy. He launched forward, striking both enemies simultaneously. The impact sent a thunderous boom across the valley, scattering birds for miles. When the dust settled, both attackers were unconscious, their masks shattered. Aftermath. Jiraiya exhaled, scratching his head. Well, so much for keeping a low profile. Naruto smiled sheepishly. Sorry, guess I overdid it. Greater than, overdid it. Kid, you just flattened 3 elite assassins. Jiraiya said, half proud, half exasperated. Your power's growing faster than I can keep up with. Naruto looked at the fallen men. Sensei, who's their master? Jiraiya's smile faded. A man named Pain. From the Hidden Rain. Someone I used to know. Naruto frowned. Used to. Greater than, let's just say he was another one of my students. Quote, there was silence for a moment, the kind that carries too much memory. Naruto finally said, then I'll beat him, too. Not because he's your student, but because he's hurting people. Jiraiya smiled faintly. That's your father's heart talking, kid. Departure. The next morning, as the sun rose over the valley, they began the journey back to Konoha. Naruto walked ahead, a little taller now, his steps steadier. He wasn't just the loudmouthed orphan anymore, he was something new. Something balanced. Jiraiya followed quietly, watching the boy he'd once found crying behind a ramen stand now radiating calm power. He thought of the prophecy, the great Toad Sage, and the faces of all his past students. Greater than, you really might change the world, Naruto. Naruto turned, grinning. Of course I will, believe it. Jiraiya laughed, shaking his head. Still the same knucklehead, just with better chakra control. As they disappeared down the mountain path, the wind carried their laughter across the valley, light, strong, and full of promise. End of Part 1, The Toad Sage's Legacy. Greater Than Next, Part 2, The Awakening of the Sage Beast. The return to Konoha brings new challenges, as Naruto's early sage powers draw attention from both allies and enemies. Kurama's influence grows, and the line between harmony and chaos begins to blur. Return to the village. The gates of Konoha appeared at the end of the forest path like an old dream come back to life. Naruto stopped, staring at them, the walls, the carved faces on the Hokage monument, the smoke rising from the village roofs. He hadn't realized until now how long he'd been gone. Months of training with Jiraiya, sleeping under open skies, talking to frogs, and balancing nature energy had made him forget what home even smelled like. Greater Than, You're quiet, Jiraiya said behind him. Just thinking, Naruto murmured. It feels different. That's because you are different, Jiraiya replied. You're seeing it with sage eyes now. Quote, Naruto smiled faintly. Then I guess I'll see things I never noticed before. The guards at the gate blinked as they approached. Greater Than, Is that Naruto Uzumaki? One asked, startled. And Jiraiya-sama. Quote, Jiraiya gave a lazy wave. Yo, don't tell the old man I'm back yet, I want to surprise him. Naruto grinned. We're sneaking in. Greater Than, It's not sneaking, Jiraiya said. It's strategic arrival. They entered. The familiar sounds of vendors, children laughing, and shinobi training filled the air. Yet as Naruto walked through, people stared, not with fear this time, but curiosity. He carried himself differently now. Calm, centered. His eyes glowed faintly gold under the sunlight. An elderly shopkeeper whispered to another, Is that really the demon boy? The other shook his head. Doesn't look like one anymore. Naruto heard them but didn't flinch. For the first time, those words didn't sting. Meeting the Hokage. The Hokage tower hadn't changed, though Hiruzen Sarutobi's expression did when he saw them walk in. Greater Than, Jiraiya, he said, setting aside his pipe. You vanished for half a year and return with him glowing like a miniature god. Jiraiya smirked. You're welcome. Hiruzen sighed. I should have known you'd start early. Quote, Greater Than, The kid needed guidance, Jiraiya said seriously. You know what's sealed inside him. Better he learns control now than later. Naruto bowed slightly. Old man Hokage. Greater Than, Naruto, Hiruzen said warmly. You've grown. Jiraiya nudged him. Go ahead, show him. Naruto hesitated, then clasped his hands together, focusing. The air shimmered around him as nature energy gathered. Golden markings spread from his eyes across his face. The papers on the Hokage's desk fluttered as wind swirled through the room. Hiruzen stared in awe. Sage mode, at your age. Naruto released it, rubbing his neck. Still working on the balance. But yeah. Quote, the Hokage looked at Jiraiya. You've created a phenomenon. Greater Than, No, Jiraiya said quietly. He is the phenomenon. Ripples in the village. Word spread quickly. Naruto Uzumaki had returned, and he wasn't the same. Iruka, the academy instructor, saw him training near the training grounds one afternoon, sitting calmly on the water's surface while frogs perched on his shoulders. Greater Than, Naruto. Iruka called out. What are you doing? Quote, meditating. Naruto replied cheerfully. I'm practicing sage mode control. You're sitting on water. Yeah, Jiraiya-sensei says it helps with balance. Iruka smiled despite himself. You've changed, Naruto. Quote, Greater Than, Guess sir, Naruto said. But I'm still gonna be Hokage someday. That same day, Anko Mitarashi stopped by the Hokage's office. Greater Than, You're telling me the brat can sense chakra from across the village. Quote, He sensed your presence before you entered the room, Hiruzen said mildly. Hey, Anko grinned. Maybe the kid's finally interesting. Meanwhile, villagers began to whisper again, but this time, their tone was mixed with wonder rather than disgust. They saw him helping at the market, lifting heavy crates with a single hand, or calming wild animals that had wandered too close to town. Children followed him around shouting, Show us the frog trick. Quote, Naruto laughed each time, summoning a small toad who croaked and spat bubbles. The laughter that followed was genuine. For the first time in his life, the village that had once feared him now looked at him with admiration. Night at Ichiraku. That evening, Naruto sat at Ichiraku Ramen, the same stool he'd occupied countless times before. Tsuki smiled when he saw him. Greater than, Naruto. It's been too long, kid. Hey, old man, gimme the usual, ×3. You got it. Jiraiya chuckled beside him. You never change. Greater than, ramen's sacred, Naruto said, slurping the first bowl like he hadn't eaten in years. Some things you don't mess with. Quote, Ayami leaned over. You look taller. And stronger. Greater than, he's been training with me, Jiraiya said proudly. No wonder, she teased. He's glowing. Naruto grinned, his cheeks full of noodles. That's sage energy. Quote, greater than, well, it looks good on you, she said. For a moment, everything felt normal, simple. Naruto laughed, ate until he nearly passed out, and watched the lanterns flicker outside the shop. But deep down, Jiraiya knew peace was only temporary. The world beyond Konoha was stirring, and the boy beside him was the key to whatever came next. The shadow of Akatsuki. Far away, in a rain-drenched tower under an eternal gray sky, a pair of eyes watched through a projection. Rinnegan. Greater than, so, Jiraiya has begun, said a voice cold as iron. The boy's power is remarkable, another said, Conan, stepping beside Pain. He's already touched nature energy. He could become dangerous. Quote, dangerous, Pain repeated softly, or necessary. Conan frowned. You think he's the one the prophecy spoke of? Greater than, if he is, he will either join us, or fall to us. The rain outside grew heavier. Lightning flickered, casting long shadows across the chamber. The unseen test. A week later, Jiraiya brought Naruto deep into Training Ground 44, the Forest of Death. Greater than, one last test before you join the academy, he said. And before I head out again. You're leaving. Naruto's face fell. Duty calls, kid. You'll keep training here. But before that, show me how far you've come. The air shimmered. Naruto's clones appeared instantly, 20 of them. They charged forward, attacking from all directions. Jiraiya smirked. He's faster than I remember. Naruto vanished in a blur, reappearing behind his sensei. Jiraiya blocked the strike but was pushed back several feet. Greater than, niece, he said. You're reading my movements with nature sense. Yup, Naruto grinned. And I'm not done yet. He leapt back, forming a Rasengan, larger, denser, glowing faintly gold. Greater than, sage art, great spiraling burst. Quote, Jiraiya widened his eyes. Oh, come on. The explosion lit up the forest, scattering leaves and shattering trees. When the dust cleared, Jiraiya was hanging upside down from a branch, hair singed. Naruto scratched his head. Oops. Greater than, you're just like your father, Jiraiya groaned. All power, zero restraint. Then he smiled. But you've got his heart, too. Departure. 2 days later, they stood at the village gate again, but this time, Jiraiya was the one leaving. Naruto tried to smile but couldn't hide the sadness in his eyes. Greater than, you'll be fine, Jiraiya said, placing a hand on his shoulder. You've already got more wisdom than half the shinobi here. But, what if you don't come back? Quote, then keep training, Jiraiya said softly. Because every time you grow stronger, every time you choose kindness over anger, I'll still be with you. That's what being a teacher means. Naruto's throat tightened. I'll make you proud. Greater than, you already have, kid. Jiraiya turned to leave, his red cloak fluttering in the wind. Naruto watched until the silhouette disappeared beyond the trees. Then he clenched his fists and whispered to the wind. Greater than, I'll become the best sage, and Hokage, ever. Believe it. The watching Hokage. From the Hokage tower, Hiruzen stood by the window, watching the boy meditate near the training fields. His golden aura glowed softly against the dusk sky. Greater than, he carries both his parents, Hiruzen murmured. Minato's resolve and Kushina's fire. He sighed, setting his pipe down. The prophecy moves faster than I expected. A figure stepped from the shadows, masked, silent. An Anbu. Greater than, you want us to keep an eye on him. Yes, Hiruzen said. Protect him, but don't interfere. The child of balance must walk his path freely. The calm before the storm. That night, Naruto dreamt of the valley again, the forest alive with energy, the air glowing. Kurama's voice echoed faintly. Greater than, you're changing, boy. But remember, balance is not peace. Even nature destroys to survive. Naruto looked at the giant fox. Then I'll learn to protect without destroying. Quote, greater than, we'll see, Kurama rumbled. For now, rest. The world won't stay quiet forever. When Naruto woke, the dawn light spilled through his window, warm and golden. He smiled, feeling the pulse of nature energy within him. Somewhere deep inside, the Kyuubi's chakra hummed, not in anger, but in acknowledgement. End of Part 1, The Beginning of Balance. Greater than next, Part 2 The Awakening of the Sage Beast. Naruto's sage powers begin to draw attention from every corner, from Orochimaru's spies to Akatsuki's eyes. But within Konoha, the academy awaits, and young Naruto is about to enter as the most unpredictable student the village has ever seen. 1. Days of Solitude. The village was louder than the forests ever were. Naruto hadn't realized how many sounds existed inside walls until Jiraiya was gone, the clang of the blacksmith, the hum of chatter in the market, the bark of orders from training grounds. He'd wake before sunrise, meditate on the Hokage monument, and feel the flow of nature energy beneath the stone. Faces. The world pulsed quietly, every leaf, every heartbeat, and though he could sense everything, he felt strangely alone. Greater than, guess this is what being a sage feels like without a sensei, he muttered. He tried not to let it bother him. Jiraiya had said he'd return, soon, but soon meant different things to different people. For Naruto, every day felt like a mission. He began helping villagers with chores, fixing rooftops, carrying supplies, even herding stubborn livestock. He didn't do it for thanks, though hearing, "Good job, Naruto," made his chest feel warm in a way training never could. Sometimes, late at night, he'd climb to the top of the Hokage monument and talk to the sky. Greater than, hey, pervy sage, I'm still training. Don't think I'm slacking, okay. The wind always answered with a soft rustle, and he liked to imagine it was Jiraiya laughing somewhere far away. 2. First day back at the academy. When Naruto walked into the academy classroom, everyone stared. He wasn't loud, or clumsy, or late this time. He just walked in, quiet and confident, and took his seat. The other students whispered, "Greater than, is that really him?" Quote, "He looks different." Iruka-sensei blinked when he saw him. "Naruto, you actually came early." Naruto grinned. "Told you I'd surprise you, sensei." The lesson began, basic chakra theory, and Naruto listened silently. When Iruka asked the class to mold chakra and climb the wall, most struggled. Naruto stood up, walked straight up the wall, and stood upside down on the ceiling. The room went silent. "Greater than, I think you've passed this exercise," Iruka said, trying not to laugh. Sasuke Uchiha, sitting near the window, narrowed his eyes. "What are you?" Naruto dropped down, landing lightly. "Just someone who trained harder than you." Sasuke snorted but said nothing. For the first time, Naruto felt like an equal, not the clown everyone ignored. 3. Night meditation. That evening, Naruto sat near the training field, eyes closed, balancing a leaf on each finger. The world was quiet, peaceful, until he felt it, a flicker of hostile chakra at the edge of his senses. He didn't move, he just listened. There, in the trees. 3 of them. He opened his eyes slowly. "You can come out, you know." 3 older academy students stepped from the shadows, kids who'd always bullied him before. "Greater than, heard you're showing off again, demon boy," one sneered. "Bet it's all talk." "Leave it," Naruto said softly. "I don't want trouble." Too late for that. They lunged. Naruto sidestepped easily, grabbed one wrist, twisted, and gently pushed him into the dirt. The second swung. Naruto ducked, tapped his shoulder, and sent him stumbling with minimal force. He didn't need sage mode. Just awareness, calmness. The last one hesitated, trembling. Naruto smiled faintly. "Maybe next time, Try training instead of picking fights. When they fled, Naruto sighed. Jiraiya's right, balance first, power later. But as he turned back toward the clearing, his eyes flickered, a strange chakra signature nearby, faint but wrong. Not a student, not a villager, .. 4. The Watcher. For the next few days, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Even during class, his nature sense occasionally picked up something beyond the academy, a pulse of chakra moving through rooftops, disappearing as soon as he focused on it. One afternoon, he decided to follow. He left clones around the village and leapt across rooftops, tracing the faint signature toward the forest edge. The trail ended near an abandoned watchtower. Naruto landed silently, crouching low. "Whoever you are, come out." A man stepped into view, masked, wearing a black cloak with red clouds. Naruto froze. "You're not from here." The man tilted his head. "So it's true. The Jinchuriki child trained by the Toad Sage. Greater than, who are you?" "A scout," the man said calmly. "My master is curious about you." Naruto's hand tightened. "Tell your master I'm not interested." Quote, "Greater than, you don't have a choice." The man's hands blurred. Kunai flew. Naruto flipped backward, forming a seal. "Greater than, shadow clone jutsu." 5 clones appeared instantly, rushing forward. The man dodged easily, too easily. His movements were fluid, almost like water. Naruto inhaled sharply, drawing nature energy. His eyes turned golden. The forest lit up with power. "Greater than, sage art." Wind release, bursting palm. A shockwave exploded from his hand, tearing the ground. The man blocked with a chakra barrier, sliding back several meters. He laughed softly. "Impressive. You really are the child of prophecy." "Greater than, don't call me that." Naruto shouted. The air trembled, his aura flared. But before he could strike again, the man vanished into smoke, a body double. Naruto landed, panting. Whoever he wasn't fighting seriously. A chill ran through him. Akatsuki. He ran back toward the village, heart pounding. .. 5. The Hokage's worry. That evening, Naruto burst into the Hokage's office. "Greater than, old man. Someone attacked me." Black cloak, red clouds. Hiruzen froze. "Are you certain?" "Greater than, yeah." He said his master was curious about me. Quote, the old Hokage's eyes darkened. "It's too soon, they shouldn't be moving yet." He turned to an Anbu hidden in the corner. "Double the watch around the village. No one enters without my word." The masked ninja vanished. Hiruzen faced Naruto. "You did well not to engage further. Next time, report first." "Greater than, I couldn't just stand there." "I know," the Hokage said gently. "But you're still young. Don't carry this alone." Naruto nodded reluctantly. But deep inside, he already knew, this wasn't over. .. 6. A letter from Jiraiya. 2 weeks later, a messenger toad hopped into Naruto's room early in the morning. "Greater than, message from Jiraiya-sama." It croaked. Naruto blinked, half asleep. "Really?" The scroll read. "Greater than, brat, heard about the Akatsuki scout. Don't panic, they won't act openly yet. Focus on control. When I return, we'll push your training to the next stage. Remember, a sage doesn't react, he responds. Keep your balance, pervy sage." Naruto smiled, clutching the letter. "He's still watching over me." He spent the rest of the morning meditating, repeating those words. Don't react. Respond. .. 7. An unexpected friend. Sasuke approached him during training one day. "Greater than, hey, what's up, Sasuke? You fought someone outside the village, didn't you?" Naruto blinked. "How did you?" "Greater than, rumors travel." Sasuke crossed his arms. "You're strong. I want to spar." Naruto grinned. "Sure, but I won't hold back." They faced each other under the afternoon sun. Sasuke's Sharingan flared briefly, not fully awakened, but sharp enough. The clash was fast. Naruto used minimal sage energy, matching Sasuke's speed easily. Sparks flew as kunai clashed. Finally, Sasuke